Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are going to discuss about before business rule. We are going to see what are the uses of before business rule, and we are going to see when before business rule runs and what operation can be performed with the help of before business rule. And we are going to see the demo of before business rule with all the operation it can perform. So let's start the video with what are the uses of before business rule. With the help of before business rule, we can perform different activities. Some of the activities like state changes. We can change the state of a record with the help of before business rule. We can abort the changes. If the conditions are not fulfilled, then we can abort the changes with the help of before business rule. We can update the related records of a particular record. So if a user performs some actions on a record and there are related records to that particular record, then we can update those records with the help of before business rule. Okay. Now we are going to see when before business rule runs. It runs before any operations happen to the records of a table. Operations like inserting a record in a table, updating a record in a table, deleting a record from a table, query a record from a table. Okay, so these are the operations that can be performed on the database of a table. Okay, and business rule is going to run before these operations because these are the operations which are going to make changes to the records of a table. And if you want to perform some actions before these operations, then we can use before business rule. Like if you want to change the state of the record, like if you want to abort the change, update the related records of a record, then we can use before business rule for this purpose. Okay, so it's going to run before any operation happen to the records of a table. Okay, now let's see some of the examples of it. For the examples of before business rule, we are going to use the incident table. So let's quickly open the list of incidents. So we have to click on all navigation menu, and in the filter navigator we have to type incident.list. It's going to open the list of incidents. Now we have the list of incidents, and here we are going to see the columns options. On each columns, select from any column. So we are going to click here and we are going to go to configure options, and here we will see the business rules, and it's going to open all the business rules that are related to the incident table and the task table, because incident extend the task table. That's why we are going to see all the business rules that are applicable on task table also. Okay, now we are going to filter it according to the table incident. So right click here and show matching. Now right now we are seeing all the business rules that are applicable on incident table, but we want to get only those business rules that are before business rule. Okay, for that what we are going to do is that we are going to just quickly bring up the when column here. So we are going to personalize the list. So click on personalize list icon. Okay, now from available slash bucket we are going to find the when field. So this is our when column. Click on here and add this to the selected slash bucket and move up. Okay, now we are going to click OK. And now what we want only before business rule. So we are going to right click here and show matching. Okay, so these are all the business rules that are before business rule and that are applicable on incident table. So let's check some of the examples of it. Like abort changes on group. You can see with the help of name we can identify what this particular business rule will be doing. Okay, so it's important to give a meaningful name to the business rule. Okay, now we have one more business rule, that was update child incidents, set incident origin. Okay, now as you can see this is going to abort the changes on group. So here it says when before we are inserting a record in a table, before we are updating a record in a table, this particular business rule is going to run, and it has to fulfill these conditions. Assigned to must not be empty, assignment groups changes, and assignment group is not empty. So if this particular filter conditions is fulfilled or it returns true, then this business rule runs. And when a user is inserting or updating, then this particular business rule is going to run. Now let's see the actions there if anything is available. Right now we can see there is no set values or add message or about action checkbox is checked. But in advanced, if we see, we can see a script is available here. So if we click on this icon, it says toggle full screen. So we are going to see the code on full screen and we are going to zoom it. Okay, so here what this code is doing is that it's getting the current value. So with the help of current variable, it is getting the current assigned to current assignment group. Okay, so it's going to save the value in these variables for the assigned to in assignment group. It's getting the current means when the user is inserting the current one, when the user hit on submit or update. Okay, the current object is going to store the current value of that particular field. And what it does is that it's glide query the sys_user.gr member and is finding the group sys id assignment group. We are passing it and the user to this. Now if they don't find any connections in this particular table, what they are going to do is that they are going to add an error message. Okay, assigned to user must be the member of assignment group and you are not able to perform any operations on it because you have changed the assignment group. Okay, and the assigned to user was not part of it. Okay, and it is setting the set about action true, means you are not allowed to change the group. Okay, and this operation is happening before inserting and updating. So suppose we open an incident form and here if we try to change the assignment group, okay, if we try to change it and the incident manager is not part of that new group, then we are not allowed to update this particular incident. Okay, why? Because this before business rule is going to run and is not allowing us to change the assignment group for which the user is not part of it. Okay, so this was first example of we can abort the changes if we want before we perform any operations on it. Okay, next is set incident origin. The incident can be created from many areas in ServiceNow. So this is the one in which we are setting up the incident origin, from where the incident is originated. Okay, it is applicable when before inserting a record in a table. So the record is for which table? Incident table. Before we insert a record in the incident table, this business rule is going to run. The condition will be origin table is empty and caused by change is not empty. Okay, so if this filter condition sets to true, then this business rule is going to run. So what actions it's going to perform? No actions available, so we go to advanced section and here we can see that what it is doing. It is setting up the origin table to change request table and origin id to the current.caused id. Okay, so with the help of before business rule, we are setting up the fields before we make any changes into the records of a table. Okay, next we can perform complex scripting in it. Okay, and this is one of the example of complex scripting, updating the child incidents. So we have talked about it like updating the related records of a particular record. So for a particular incident there will be child incidents. So if something happens on a particular incident and you have to update the child incidents before you perform any operations into the database or that particular record, then we can use before business rule. So it says before we update the incident record, run this business rule. Okay, no filter condition is available, so only condition is before we are updating a record of a incident, we have to update the child incidents. So if we see the action sections, nothing is available, but if we see the advanced, then we can see a large script has been written here. And if we click on toggle full screen, then we can see that this is the complex script. It is complex because right now we are not used to it. Once we get used to scripting in business rule, then it's a very easy scripting. Okay, so you have to understand how the code has been written here. So if we see, this is a particular function. What this function is doing, it is updating the child incidents. Okay, so this function will do this operation to update the child incidents. Then what this function is doing, it is executing the flow actions, and which is accepting some parameters. So, and it is using try and catch block. If this block is getting any error, then it will be catched here and it will be logged as an error in a log table. Okay, here it is executing a flow action. So we can see it is using a flow API get runner. Action name is this. It is going to run the action in the background with the inputs passed in the inputs object and run method. Okay, so this particular function is performing execute flow action functionality. Okay, likewise we have derived field value function, we have resolve child incidents function. Okay, so we have to understand if there is a complex script. Once we understand it, it's very easy. Okay, so these were some of the examples of before business rule. If you like this video, do share the videos with others. Subscribe the channel for more videos like this. Thank you for watching this video. Bye bye.